Hey, what's going on, guys? It's LuceyGoosey or Kyle, and welcome to our UPL Week 6. Your Chicago Bibarels are going up against the Pittsburgh Registeelers, coached by Byron. And yeah, Byron's got a scary team this week. We are 3-2, he is 2-3, and it's really important for us to win this match. I'm just going to do a quick team builder before we go into this, but if we're able to win this match, we'll go 4-2 and put ourselves in a really good position to make playoffs this season. So hopefully we can win this one, but I'm just going to go over his team really quick and then the team I'm bringing, and then we'll get into the match. So he's got a really good team, backed by Mega Lopunny. Basically his whole team is kind of based around Mega Lopunny, but Latias is a really good Dragon Psychic type for him, and it actually outspeeds my whole team. So I'm expecting him to bring a Scarf Lottie because I am most likely, if he looks at my team, the thing that I need to bring is Scarfed Infernape, and so he's going to expect me to bring that and spring Scarf Lottie. I think 100% Scarf Lottie is coming. He's got Clefable, a Fairy type, can set up rocks. It's pretty stally, it's hard to take down. Calm Mind could be a weird set, but the main thing is I need to figure out if it's Magic Guard or Unaware. If it's Unaware, then Klefki can set up on it. We are bringing Klefki this week. I guess that's kind of a spoiler. I don't even have him on the screen yet. But yeah, we need to really make sure that we check if it's Magic Guard or Unaware. He's got Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash has been his lead almost every game. There's been one game where he didn't lead Rotom Wash, and that was he didn't bring it, I don't think. So Rotom Wash has been a really common lead for him, so if it does come, I'm going to expect it to be the lead. Nidoking, Poison Ground, weak to ground type, which is really important because, you know, we do have a couple of things that have coverage moves or Earthquake, but Poison Ground type can set up Stealth Rock, Sheer Force, Life Orb, does a ton of damage to everything, so we need to watch out for that. Serena actually prevents priority, so Ice Shard from Mega Glalie won't hit this thing, and also it's a good spinner. Other than that, it's a pretty good defensive check, and it gets Chop Kick, which can lower your attack. Empoleon can defog and set up rocks. Other than that, not too much of an offensive threat. It can roar and stuff like that, and it can be somewhat solid, but honestly, Empoleon's not a main threat to my team. Mega Lopunny, just a huge threat with Scrappy. High Jump Kick just hits everything on my team super hard. Not too many switch-ins to this thing, so we're going to have to bring a couple of things that are going to be able to hopefully help us take down Mega Lopunny. Incineroar is actually really good against my team. It's got a good matchup, so I won't be surprised if we see it coming. Fire type Stab is just really good against my team, and everything that fire doesn't really hit, his Dark Stab kind of hits, as well as he gets a lot of coverage and everything like that. So we do need to watch out for Incineroar. And then he's got Mismagius, who's a really fast Pokemon as well. He's got a really fast team, really tough to deal with the speeds that he has all around. But Mismagius will get one-shot by Sucker Punch. If we bring Sucker Punch on a Pokemon, it's really weak. We can Pursuit Trap it, stuff like that. So that's nice. A Selgor, really fast Spike Setter. Other than that, in Draft League, it's not too great. Somewhat offensive. You can run like some Bug Stab on it and everything like that. But not the greatest Pokemon, but it can get hazards up against us. And Archeops, the same thing as a Stealth Rock Setter. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. My team's not super weak to rocks, but so I don't really see Archeops or a Selgor coming to bring hazards, but it's always a possibility. But we'll get into my team right here. The first Pokemon we are bringing is Hitmonlee. So like I said, Sucker Punch is kind of important in this match. We're bringing a Choice Banded Sucker Punch in order to hit that Mismagius if the Mismagius gets out of control, or to hit the Latias if it is Scarf Latias. We can hit that thing with the Sucker Punch and do a lot of damage to it. Other than that, High Jump Kick just hits everything. If he's a specially defensive Clefable, we can two-shot Clefable with High Jump Kick. Everything else basically gets two-shot unless it's like full physically defensive. And then obviously you have Mismagius. So if Mismagius doesn't come, then we can freely High Jump Kick things, which is really nice. We do a ton of damage with this thing. Enough speed to outspeed some things trying to speed creep. I believe we outspeed max speed Empoleon. I'm not too sure. It was like a week and a half ago I did this battle, so I don't remember exactly what I'm trying to speed creep with this, but we're max attack, so we can definitely put in a ton of damage against things, and one-shot Rotom Wash actually. If he's a especially defensive Rotom Wash or an offensive Rotom Wash, we can one-shot it on the very first turn if he leads it and brings it. So that's really nice. The second Pokemon we're bringing is Vaporeon. Vaporeon is going to be a really good check to hit, especially offensive Pokemon, especially Latias. Like I said, my team has a lot of trouble dealing with Latias, as well as Nidoking. And I guess it can be a switch in to a couple of other things like Mismagius if it comes, as well as Empoleon can't really touch it. So Vaporeon, we have leftovers on it this week. Some bulk and special defense, a little bit of defensive bulk just so we can live a return in, or a high jump kick from the Mega Lopunny and deal back a little bit of damage if we have to. Heal Bell, just because I don't want anything getting burned this week. He can bring Will-O-Wisp on a couple things, and I don't want anything getting burned. And then Scald and Ice Beam. Ice Beam's just there to hit the Lottie for some damage if I do have a situation where I need to hit the Lottie. And we have enough speed to outspeed Serena. I don't think it's max speed Serena, but it's like a speed creeping Serena. We have enough speed to outspeed that in order to get an Ice Beam off and do about 40%. So that's really nice. The next Pokemon we are bringing is going to be Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys has served us pretty well. It was a Pokemon I was thinking about trading early on in the season, but I've really grown to like using this Pokemon. We have Thunder Wave. Now, Thunder Wave won't affect Incineroar, and it won't affect Lopunny before Mega Evolution because it gets the Limber ability. But it's really there just to get the Clefable as well as to get the Lottie. The Clefable, I want to tell if it's Magic Guard right away, and if we Thunder Wave it, I believe Magic Guard Magic Guard. I believe it prevents it from getting Paralyzed Hacks. It might not. I know Stealth Rocks do, but we're not bringing Stealth Rocks this week. So we have to check for that, but mainly just for the Lottie, to be honest. If I can slow down Lottie, then we can definitely win this game 100%, because if Lottie is slowed down, then you know, we'll be able to outspeed some things, and it's going to be really nice. It can also affect a Selgor if he happens to bring a Selgor, and a couple of other things. So Thunder Wave is really nice. We also have Calm Mind on here, because if he's not running Flamethrower on Clefable, and we do figure out that he's Magic Guard and not Unaware, we can Calm Mind on this thing. And the only thing that really stops us from setting up Calm Minds is Incineroar and Nidoking. Nidoking not too great of stopping us from setting up, because at like +2 Earth Power is only going to be doing about 46%, so it's not going to be doing too much, but we can't really deal too much damage back. And Incineroar, we can't prankster the Calm Minds up on it. If it's faster than us, we're just going to get one shot by Flare Blitz. So it could be an okay set to deal with the Clefable late game, so we need to make sure we keep this around, but it's also a good switch in to Latios. Latios can't really touch it unless it's running coverage, so we definitely need to keep this thing around. Next Pokemon we're bringing is Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus is a really good Pokemon in my opinion, and this week we're bringing it to counter Mega Lopunny. Like I said, my team doesn't have too many switch-ins to Mega Lopunny, so this is going to be our switch-in. I expect him to run some sort of coverage for this, because he knows that Mummy will take away his Scrappy ability, and he needs to have some move to hit me. High Jump Kick does like 78%, even though this thing is max HP, max defense. It's crazy. I think it did like 60 to 65% or something like that. We have Pain Split on there, Psychic, Calm Mind, and the most important thing is we have Memento. Memento is going to allow us to set up with some Pokemon here, and you're going to see our Pokemon Haxorus is going to be the main Pokemon to help us win this game. I'm running Habanberry, that's a dragon reducing berry, as a way, if things get out of hand with Latios, we can always switch in with the Habanberry. However, if he does get rocks up in the game, Psychic will actually be able to kill us at the range we're at, so I put in a little bit of HP so we can live a Psychic. But if he does go for the Draco Meteor or the Dragon Pulse, we can live that and deal back with the Dragon Claw, which is really nice. We're running a lot of speed on there just to outspeed, I believe, max speed Nidoking. And Mold Breaker allows us to hit the Rotom Wash because it's Levitate, but we can still hit it with the super effective Earthquake because we bypassed the Levitate. We have coverage for everything on the team. Basically, Dragon Claw hits Lottie, Poison Jab hits Conflatable, Earthquake hits basically everything, and things that Earthquake doesn't hit, Poison Jab and Dragon Claw hit. So really nice right here. Hopefully we can get up a Dragon Dance and sweep through the team. If we're able to paralyze the Lottie, I believe we can win this game just with one Dragon Dance basically. So hopefully that will happen. And then we also have Scarfed Infernape this week, kind of like a last resort type of thing. It's going to help us take down the Lopunny, which is really important. It's Scarfed so that it can outspeed the Lopunny. Close Combat will definitely kill it. Close Combat hits a lot of things on his team hard, except he does have some good switch-ins to it, like Clefable and Mismagius, so we need to watch out for that. We can also get some momentum in the game with Choice Scarf U-Turn. I don't really see myself clicking Flare Blitz too much in this game. I didn't really want to run Flare Blitz. I wanted to try to run something else. Could have probably run Stealth Rocks just like as a last coverage move, but I guess Flare Blitz is nice to have that stab, and if you bring certain Pokemon like Serena or like a Selgor, it could be nice to hit them. So yeah, that is going to be our team for this week, and I'll head into the battle in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty guys, we are here in the battle, and yeah, you can see what he brought: the Latios, the Incineroar, Clefable, Mega Lopunny, Empoleon, and Nidoking. Really scary team, actually. Really didn't expect anything else. There were a couple of things he could have brought that he didn't bring, like Serena and a Selgor. But overall, the only thing I was really surprised not to see was Rotom Wash. Kind of surprised to see the Incineroar, but like I said, it does put in a lot of work against our team. But yeah, 100% I think that Latios is scarfed right away from seeing just a team matchup against each other. So I'm going to play this game like it is scarfed, and I'm just going to lead off with our Hitmonlee. It's going to do a ton of damage. Sorry if you hear rain outside. It's pouring pretty hard outside of my house. But I'm just going to lead off with Hitmonlee. It hits everything pretty hard, and we can scout out some sets and everything. So we're going to lead off with Hitmonlee. He's going to lead off with Latios. I don't want to go for the Sucker Punch right away. I'm just going to switch out into Klefki, because I know Klefki can take any hit. If I would have went for Sucker Punch there, it could have been pretty nice. It was a roll to kill. So probably would have been a better play, actually, just to go for Sucker Punch right off the bat. But I switch out in the Klefki, and I make a nice switch into Vaporeon right here, thinking I can take any hit, and if it covers the double into anything he wants to go into. I thought Incineroar, but he went into the Nidoking. He shows off that his main switch in to me is Empoleon, and that is definitely physically defensive Empoleon. He's going to go for Toxic here, and he's actually going to miss, which kind of stinks for him. I was expecting him to go for Rocks, and I was just going to go out and Hitmonlee, pretending like I was going to Rapid Spin and then just go and hit something really hard with High Jump Kick. Except he goes for Toxic, and yeah, he misses the Toxic, which is unfortunate for him. I'm just going to go for High Jump Kick, do a ton of damage to something, whatever wants to come in. He brings in the Clefable, and that damage shows that it is full physically defensive, which means our ways to kill Clefable in this match is Klefki and only Klefki. Poison Jab from Hitmonlee is going to do about 60%, but we're banded, so we can't switch it here. Poison Jab from Haxorus is only going to do about 45%, and the same with Infernape. So it's really hard for us to take this thing down, and I should have thought that about bringing something more offensive to take down Clefable. I'm just going to go out in the Vaporeon here. I know that we can take hits from this all day, and I'm just hoping it's not a Calm Mindset. As you can see, Scald actually does 30%, which is really nice, but obviously I'm just fishing for a burn right now to figure out if it's Magic Guard or not, and we're not getting the burn. I hope for Wish right here, and he goes for the Calm Mind, and now I'm like, oh my goodness, he's Calm Mind, which means he doesn't have Flamethrower most likely. He most likely has the Fairy type move and not Flamethrower, so Klefki can kind of take this thing on a little bit better, but it is a physically defensive Klefki. So we're kind of in a stall war right here, and I know I can't win it. I'm just trying to get a burn, and unfortunately we're just not able to get any burns. I'm going to go out in the Klefki. I know I can take this thing on now that I've seen its moveset, and I'm just going to hope that we can get some Flash Cannons off on this thing. I know I can Calm Mind up on it, so I'm going to go for a Calm Mind up here, and he goes out into Nidoking again. I know I can't take an Earth Power. I mean, I can take one Earth Power, but I can't deal any damage back. So I'm just going to go right back out in the Vaporeon, kind of like a stall war right here at the beginning. We can take 2 Earth Powers, and from that damage, I couldn't tell exactly what his set was. That was either Specs or it was some other boosting item. It had to be some boosting item, and as you guys can see, it's not Life Orb. So his mod is something. I was thinking he was Timid Specs at this point, because that was like matching up with the calc really well. So I was thinking he was Timid Specs, but there's a couple of other things. I was thinking Earth Plate. One thing that didn't cross my mind is that he could have been Expert Belt. But I'm just going to go right here for the Scald, and we're actually going to get the burn. So I wish we could have gotten that on Clefable, but we get it on Empoleon, which is nice. We get that residual damage, and it means that we can really take this thing on one-on-one now. Alright, sorry, I'm back. So we go out on the Klefki right here as he gets up his Rocks. We have no way to remove Rocks this week. But Klefki is going to be able to Calm Mind up on this thing, and once again he makes the switch out, but this time into Incineroar. So I could have predicted that and went for the Dazzling Gleam and done about 40%, but unfortunately I just didn't make the right prediction there, and now we have to go out into our physical defensive check. Luckily he goes for U-turn. If he went for anything else, that would have been really bad, because we really need Cofagrigus in this match. Right here I make a bit of a questionable play. In order for him to make this play, I know he has to have some sort of coverage for me. I'm guessing he has Shadow Ball. I looked it up. I was like, what moves does he get? What moves does he get? He gets Shadow Ball. So I know I can live a uninvested Shadow Ball, but like I said, I have no idea what this, or like a modest non-boosting item Shadow Ball. but I have no idea what item this thing was because I was thinking it was Timid Specs, and Timid Specs has a roll to kill me right here. I wanted to go for the Memento, but I just wanted to scout it out. Maybe maybe he doesn't have Shadow Ball. He's going to go for Shadow Ball right here, and it's not going to kill, and I'm just going to go for the Plane Split. So now I know I can't live another one. We get a little bit of nice damage off on the Nidoking, and I know I can't live another Shadow Ball, and at this point I'm convinced that was Timid Specs, because that was right on the roll for Timid Specs. It was kind of a low roll, but it was definitely on the roll for Timid Specs. So I'm going to go out into Klefki right here, and it turns out, like I said, he was actually Expert Belt. He goes for the Earth Power, covering the switch into Klefki, and we're going to lose our main check to Lottie and Clefable at this point. So now our main check to Clefable is actually gone, and we don't have too much that can deal with it. So we need to really play around that Clefable and play really carefully to make sure that we can take it out with Poison Jabs. And hopefully we just, get a Dragon Dance up with Haxorus and we're able to take that down later in the match. He's going to get the Toxic off on our Vaporeon. However, we do have Heal Bell, so we will be able to get rid of that Toxic at some point. But as you guys can see here, he has no moves to hit me with. He probably is like Defog, Stealth Rocks, Toxic, Scald. So he has no moves to hit me with. So he's just going to keep on spamming Toxic. I figured maybe he could miss one of these and hopefully we don't get Toxic. However, he's just going to keep spamming it. And at this point, there's no point of me switching out into something. Maybe I could have switched out into Cofagrigus and got a Memento off. Or got out into like Haxorus and tried to set up, but I don't want anything to get Toxic at this point. Probably would have been best for me to go out in the Cofagrigus, but I figured hopefully he misses this last Toxic right here and he hits it. So our Vaporeon is going to probably be Toxic the rest of this game because we can't really Heal Bell up on anything else except maybe the Incineroar. So he's going to go out into Lopunny right here. I know I can take a return, but I have a pretty good switch into this thing. Return cannot kill my Cofagrigus at this range after Rocks, but it's going to do a lot. If he goes for High Jump Kick, it will kill, but it just gives me a free switch into Infernape. I'm hoping right here he doesn't have any coverage for my Cofagrigus after he loses Scrappy, but he does have Ice Punch, probably for the Gliscor, but we didn't bring Gliscor this week. Right here, I have to show off my Scarfed Infernape because I have nothing else to really take this thing on. And we're just going to go for the close combat right here as he switches out into Nidoking. So Nidoking cannot take two, and he's basically sacking off Nidoking at this point. Doesn't really do too much left in the game, and I'm just going to kill off this Nidoking. Unfortunately, we have very limited opportunities to set up with Haxorus right now, and we just need to find the right time. I'm going to make the hard switch out here into Vaporeon. Just expecting him to just go for a special type move. We do see the Moonblast, so we now know this thing does actually have Moonblast, which a little bit too late. Infernape actually could live a Moonblast, which is really nice, so we can definitely get some Poison Jabs off there. But he gets the Calm Mind up right here. I expected him to go for either Calm Mind or something else. You guys can see I went for Poison Jab. I actually disagree with this play. I did make the hard switch into Haxorus, but I should have made the hard switch into Hitmonlee. Haxorus is more important in this game than Hitmonlee, and by sacking off my Haxorus at this point, there's very little chance for me to win this match. Killing Lottie has to be a Sucker Punch from Hitmonlee instead of me winning this game with Haxorus. So I did misplay by going out into Haxorus instead of Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee plus Haxorus could kill this thing, and I'd make another misplay. I'm trying to get back into this game, and this happens to me a lot. I panic. So I go for High Jump Kick right here because it covers a switch. I did not expect... Well, I expected him to stay in right here, and it's a roll for High Jump Kick to kill at this range. But if I go for Poison Jab, then he gets a free switch out into Latios. And then he goes for Psychic, and it probably... like, the 100% the best play here was to go for Poison Jab, and I just misplayed. I went for the High Jump Kick, which doesn't kill, and now he's able to take me down. He's actually going to go for the Soft Boiled, and there's no chance of us killing him now after the leftover. So we're screwed at this point. Unless we get a crit, then we're going to lose 4-0, and he's just going to Soft Boil it up here. So, yeah, it's really difficult to win this match. He had some really good prep, Byron did, and unfortunately, he is going to come away with a win right here. We can't take down his Clefable. If I went for Poison Jab right here, on that previous play, he went out into Lottie, I sack off Vaporeon, and then I go back out into Hitmonlee, and then it's a roll for us to kill it with Sucker Punch. If we got that roll, then he'd just go out into we'd win the game with Scarf Infernape, basically. If I got that roll, I just sack off my Hitmonlee and then close combat twice and win the game. Unfortunately, I just made a really bad misplay, and we're going to lose this game. We are going to actually get it to a 2-0 because you did see I crit the Clefable, but there's no chance of winning this game because his Lottie is definitely Scarf. So unfortunately, guys, we do lose this game. Like I said, that misplay right there of when I went for Poison Jab against the Clefable, or when I went for High Jump Kick against the Clefable, meant that I couldn't win that game. Like I said, if I went for Poison Jab, I had a chance to win that game on a roll, but unfortunately we just lose that game. So we are going to go to 3-3. Our differential's not the greatest, it's -3 right now, I believe. So yeah, we're going to go to 3-3. We're still in the middle of the pack right now in our division. If the season were to end right now, we'd go in the playoffs, we'd be 4th in our division, so we wouldn't make playoffs. But we do have a couple of some I guess easier matches in the next couple of weeks, so hopefully we can win those. But yeah, Byron gets a nice win, so good job to Byron. And yeah, we hopefully can pick up a win in week 7. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy this week's match, and I'll see you guys in the next week of the UPL. I'm out for now. Peace.